but it doesn't record you guys because you're on the other one. So at any point, if you have a question, you can just, chat on and I'll try to get it answered for you guys. But hopefully we're kind of going to go through here and kind of see what's going to, where you guys are at. So last class, we added our background title, which was using a matte color. I called mine blue because it's the same color as the table that I have here. We added a text. Maybe you didn't get that far. Maybe you just got the images placed in because the uploading was taking a little time. I like to do this little practice run before we do the major image video for this project, because the more images we add, right, the more processing time. So it's just fun to kind of work out the kinks a little bit here with this quick practice, and then we can go in and do our own. So we'll meet in Tent 9 tomorrow, and we can kind of go through and like fine tune a couple things. I want to make a title for our new project tomorrow, and credits for our new project tomorrow. And then what we're going to do on Friday is I'm going to have you guys go off and photograph for your project on Friday, because we'll be at home. Does that make sense so far? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so let me hide my self view so I can see you guys better. I'm going to stop recording just for a second. So last class, as I said, we ended with making what's called a blank color box. And this can be what they call a black video, which is just the black screen of the video. Usually you see this, it's like before the beginning or it's the end. It's just, empty screen. You also can do what's called a color mat, which is a color square. And in graphics, you can add things to that kind of end up being like a slideshow if you want, or like video. So if we were in class, I would have us jump into After Effects, which would show us how to do some basic video animation. And then we'd bring this in to Premiere Pro. But I think just to keep it simple, we're just going to kind of do it in here a little bit and play around with the basic font animation and make your own graphics for titles and credits. All right, so your screen might look similar to mine, but you might be able not to see, like, for example, all the extra default things. And sometimes what happens is you just have to stretch this out a little bit to see your media browser items. And I can't see mine because my Zoom thing is in the way. So let me scroll, make this a little smaller. There we go. So you may not see these tools right here because your frame is a little too small because you're, moving around to see me. So these frames are movable however you want to move them around. And for by some chance you have them in a different place, it's not a big deal. Sometimes they move around based on what tab you're on. And right now I'm on graphics tab, but I can click back on learning and you can see it kind of switched up a little bit where my toolbar is over here. So no worries if anything's kind of moved out where you don't want it to be, or you can't see something. You can always just kind of move them around and see fit. So what I was asking you guys, what certain things were called on your file format. My theory is sometimes you're having resize issues because they're not JPEGs, but they're the phone format, which is an HEIC, and that's for an Apple phone. And the reason for that might be a new problem for me, because usually we use cameras, right, when we're in class to do this, and we just put it on JPEG, and that might be why it's happening. So I have a feeling why you're not sizing it automatically to the frame is because of that file extension. And what I'm going to have us do is when we do the final run of these pictures, I'm going to show you how to batch change all your files into JPEGs. So I think that's what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to make a blank screen because I already inserted my images with the time. And just for a quick review, if you have images, and I have so many images here, I'm going to go to this file, and you want to change the duration of them. You're going to click on the first file, and you're going to scroll down to the bottom file, and they should already be in order, right? And you click on there. So whoop, let me go to assembly so we can see it better. So I click here, and I scroll all the way down, holding my, of course it's not going to work. Let's try command. Nope, it's being difficult. Well, you should be able to click on all these. Oh, I know why, because I'm on the wrong computer. Huh. I was on my other monitor. Too many computers. Okay, so you're gonna hold down your shift key, and then if you right click, you're gonna go to speed and duration. And it should be automatically set to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2. And you're gonna go okay. And that's gonna set all those up, right? So this is my second batch of images. I'm gonna put those over here. And now I made my video a little bit longer. So if I play these, it should be a stop motion of the little tic tac and the snail, right? So that's where we left off, and we inserted those images in. Some of you guys had resizing issues. If that was an issue, I can go back and I'm going to work with you guys like we did last time with resizing for your first video. After that, we did what was called a title frame, or it's called black video or color matte. So black video is just the transparent black that you can put on, and that's layering. But we wanted to do a color matte just to kind of play with the idea a little bit. So if you do color matte, that's going to give you the format that defaults already in your sequence setting. And you're going to go, okay. And you can choose any color you want. So I think just to be a little different, I'll change it to purple. No, I like the blue. Let me stick with the blue. And you're going to go, okay. And I'm going to call this one my title practice. And it's going to insert, let me show you guys in here. Actually, I'm going to grab these images and put them in here as well into a folder. Okay, so I made a little folder here just to store pictures, which we'll kind of play with tomorrow too. So you have it. So I have my practice title. I have a blue title. So when I want to insert titles in, and I'm just going to delete this for a minute, I have to move my marker to 0 first. You always want to make sure your marker's on 0, because if you insert these and you insert it into your timeline, you want to make sure it's on 0, or else it could be in like timeline space forever, right? So this is me zooming out on my time for 5 to 10 minutes. And my video is really short. It's literally 3 seconds, right? Because it's just for practice. So I really have to zoom in. And I have to move this video. So to move the video, you're going to click on what's called track selection forward tool. So this is going to allow me to move my video how I see fit to move it around. Let me undo that. So you can select all of it first. You say, I want to select all these frames. And then you can go here and move your video to 1 second. So I already did that, right? I'm just going to move forward to 1 second, leaving 1 whole second of space right here for my practice title. So just move it over to 1 second. Make sure they're all selected so they move together. Let's see. You can also do the slip tool. Should bring it back over here. That's not going to work as well. Okay, so I have it set to 1 second, and there's a blank space here. And I'm going to insert my practice title in. So is everybody with me so far? Yeah, and I know, Owen, yours is a little more simple because you can just drag it over and put it in. So it's real quick, right? Everything's working for you there.
Ms. Capson?
Okay, yeah.
How did you get the title?
The title that I have up here.
Or like the, how do I get a new block in with the color?
Oh, the color matte right here. Is that what you're calling the color matte?
Yeah.
So if you go, it's a little folded piece of paper called new item. It looks a lot like in Photoshop and Illustrator when you want to make a new layer, but here they call it a new item instead of a layer. So you go new item and you have all these options and you're going to choose color matte. And when you go okay, you can choose any color you want, and it should be up here on the side. Okay, so I'm going to go back to learning mode so you guys can see it in learning mode. And I'm going to, now that I have my 1 second space here, I'm going to drag my practice title over, and it defaults to like, you know, not very long, but I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drag my time so it fits into 1 second. So now if I scroll through, it does the video, and there I am, right? So now I filled up my time with the blue screen. And there's this one little second, if you see that, like little bitty microsecond of time where it turns black because the title is not quite right. So I'm gonna move it up there, move it over. And you might have those little like jumpy like moments where it's a little skippy, like because you didn't fill it in. So this had a little bitty time second right there. I can zoom in to see it better, or I can zoom out. But now I scoot it over and now it's pretty even. Okay, looking good. Let me zoom in. Okay, so now I have that put in. And that's just like the place, it's like a blank screen, and I could put any kind of animation or whatever I want there on top. So on my video too, last time I put in a graphic. I'm just gonna make a new graphic and get rid of that. So now I don't have any graphic, it's just blue screen in my practice. And it's called title. And I'm gonna go over here to my graphics section. And instead of choosing a template, I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to make my own. So that little folded piece of paper is always like a new whatever layer item. It's just the default for whatever you want to do something new. So you're going to click on that and you have all these different options. You can put shapes in, you can even put a picture in or a video. So we're going to make a text just to keep it simple.